Never shall innocent blood be shed, yet the blood of the wicked shall flow like a river. The three shall spread their blackened wings and be the vengeful striking hammer of God. You people have been chosen to reveal our existence to the world. You will witness what happens here today, and you will tell of it later. All eyes to the front. You must watch, dear. It'll all be over soon.
Now you will receive us! We do not ask for your poor, or your hungry. We do not want your tired and sick.
It is your corrupt we claim.
It is your evil that will be sought by us.
With every breath, we shall hunt them down.
Each day, we will spill their blood till it rains down from the skies.
Do not kill, do not rape, do not steal. These are principles which every man of every faith can embrace.
These are not polite suggestions. These are codes of behavior. And those of you that ignore them will pay the dearest cost.
There are varying degrees of evil. We urge you lesser forms of filth, not to push the bounds and cross over into true corruption, into our domain.
For if you do, one day you will look behind you and you will see we three. And on that day, you will reap it.
And we will send you to whatever God you wish.
And shepherds we shall be, for thee, my Lord, for thee. Power hath descended forth from thy hand. We swiftly carry out thy command. So we shall flow river forth to thee, and teeming with souls shall it ever be.
In nomine Patri.
Et Filii, Spiritus Sancti.
How far are we gonna take this, Star?
The question is not how far. The question is, do you possess the Constitution? The depth of faith to go as far as is needed?
Good evening, gentlemen. How you guys doing?
Good.
Oh, well, we're within the frame.
Indeed.
What the hell is this frame stuff?
Are we talking about, oh, that red pill, man? It's just about domineering and manipulating.
Yeah, in the red pill, they keep talking about this thing called frame. What the fuck is it? It's just bluster. It's just a guy with too damn much confidence who doesn't know his butt from a hot rock.
Too much confidence. That's an interesting way to describe frame. So what you're saying, Steve, is that we should simultaneously have no confidence because self-confidence is bad and evil or something, but women want men to confidently walk up to them and say hi. Which is it, Steve?
It's too
Well,
domineering.
You absolutely need confidence, but you need to have confidence with a great dose of humility. And you need to exhibit your confidence and your humility at exactly the same time. So you can confidently walk up to a woman and talk to her and listen to what she says and understand, and immediately, like that, say, "Yes, dear."
I was waiting for that other shoe to drop there. So guys, we're tonight we're talking about frame, which is kind of the runt of the red pill litter. And we've talked about this before. We don't think it should be the runt of the litter. It is our belief that frame is a man's superpower over woman. Money, muscles, and game help, but without frame, I don't care how much of those you have. You might get her, you might even sleep with her, but you will never you'll never have dominion over her, to use the Christian term.
So we're still not defining what frame is.
Go ahead,
We're
Steve.
poking fun at it.
Yes. Do you want to define it for us, Steve?
No, I want to correct you. I want you to define it.
Oh,
because
okay.
it's your show.
Okay. Well, you brought it up. I was giving you.
No, I'm testing you. That was just a lead up. You can't throw it back to me every time. Well, I mean, not that we do that, but we do challenge each other from time to time, as it should be.
Sure. So that's fine, Steve. I don't have a problem defining frame. Frame is actually, and this might be why it's the runt of the litter. Frame is very easy to define. And Steve actually kind of described it already. Frame is about, it's not about a sort of egoistic only concern for yourself, but a frame is about whose point of view, whose concerns are you working for, looking at, considering, etc. Are you concerned about yourself, or are you concerned about what the other person is doing? And a lot of people are going to say, "Oh, that sounds terrible. That sounds self-centered and egotistical and all of that." And this is probably another reason why people don't like to talk about frame, is because there's really no way to talk about it without sounding like you're an egotistical brat. But what this frame
His
is
own
more
purpose and mission apart from the woman.
correct. And so we tend to define frame as Nick just did. Well, frame is, I have something in my life, a mission, you know, a duty, perhaps, that I place above the woman. The woman is not the center of my life. And so you'll often hear guys talk about frame in terms of what they center their life around. Do they center their life around the woman, or do they center their life around themselves and their mission, and then invite the woman to come along? And if she decides to get uppity and, you know, demand that she become the center of his life, well, that's the harder part of frame that we will undoubtedly get to later. But frame can be defined as how you center your mission in life. And I want to make this very clear. Frame can be used in a self-centered, egotistical way. Frame can be used to say, you have to focus on me personally. Okay. And there's lots of guys out there who do it. Many of them get very popular, very wealthy doing so. We could have a whole conversation about the need to eject narcissists from the public eye. But that's not what frame actually is. Frame is about what you choose to center yourself on.
Okay, I have two things I want to say, 2 points. When you meet a woman, are you going to move into her life? Are you going to move to where she works? Are you going to construct your life around her? Are you going to come on her adventure? Or are you inviting her to come along on your adventure? Okay, I'm living my life. This is what I'm doing. You want to come along? You're more than welcome to. Okay, so that's one aspect. The other thing is I want to talk about the oak tree. Oak tree is firmly rooted. And the wind comes and it just blows against that oak tree and it bends. Sometimes a limb or two will crack off, but the oak tree stands. No matter what's coming its way. Now a tornado can uproot the oak tree. Yeah, like divorce can uproot the oak tree. Okay, fine. The analogy still stands. An oak tree can be bent and be buffeted by the wind, but it stands. That's what frame does. You feel the wind, you can bend a little bit, but you do not move off your principles and your morals. And no, I stay grounded no matter what comes my way. That is frame.
I want to build on that a little bit because I like the analogy. And it got
The
me
common
thinking.
one in the RP space.
Yeah, I like it. And it got me thinking about something. We talk about money, muscles, and game, and those are attractants. They bring women to the conversation. They bring women into your frame. Okay. And I think it's hard for men who haven't experienced to fully understand this, but those things do not keep a woman in your frame. And when you can be the oak tree in her life that bends but does not break, she falls in love with you all over again. Something happens, you deal with it, you bend. Yeah, it sucks sometimes. You know, there's some pretty hard stuff for a guy losing a job. That's a pretty big one, right? I think we can all agree to that. But you figure it out. You figure something out, right? I do this thing where every so often I update my understanding of how certain social support systems work. Why? In case I lose my job, I know exactly what to do, where to go, what buttons to push. And so you bend, you figure it out, you don't break. Okay? That to a woman, think about it this way. She gets to fall in love with you all over again every time you get to do that. Okay? There's no game here. There's no, in the case of losing the job, there's definitely no money here, right? And muscles don't save you from losing a job. They've got nothing to do with it. They can help you get one if you're, construction or, oil rigs or something, but they don't help you when you've lost one. But if a storm can hit you and it doesn't destroy you, you know what, guys? There's very few things in life that will get a woman to suck your dick. That's one of them.
Well, if you lose your job, the minute you lose your job, she's got 1 foot out the door.
Correct.
But just
Kind of red pill.
count on it. Count on it.
Yes. Assume it. Assume it.
Now,
Well,
is she going to
well,
leave?
fuck you, Dave.
Not quite yet. She's thinking about it. It all depends on what you're going to do with it. Now, times can get tough. Money can get tight. You might have to live on mac and cheese for a while. That most women can deal with. Hard times.
For a limited period of time, yes.
So the point is, if you just get devastated and go into depression and don't know what to do and start drinking heavily and whatever and not getting up in the mornings, like sleeping until 10 a.m. or whatever, and not getting after it to figure out what the hell you're going to do next. Yeah, she's going to be gone. Now, what you do next does not even have to be at the same income level as what you were doing.
Wait, Steve. So if we want her gone, you're telling me that we need to not do anything and just sleep and get up at 10 a.m.?
I think that would work, Nick.
Yeah, it worked pretty. Guys, this will take a few months. Women don't just give up on stuff easily, but it will work eventually. Yes.
But you could, a guy with frame, he could be making 150 grand a year, loses his job. And then, okay, well, time to regroup here. Comes up with a new plan. Even if he goes out and gets a job at a convenience store, working, let's say, I don't know, the night shift, 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. Okay, he's bringing in some money. Great. Now, okay, it could fuck with his unemployment insurance and whatnot, but he's doing something. And then in the rest, he's got more time there. Now he's going out to look for other jobs. He's doing something. Okay, that means a lot. So let's say he decides, you know what? I'm going to change careers. I'm going to go into the trades, and I'm only going to make $60,000 my first year, and I'll work up from there. A man with a plan can still keep a lot of women. Not the most gold digger woman out there. Yeah, she's gonna leave your ass. But if a guy's got a plan, hey, how do I know this is true? Women sleep with dirtbags who have no money.
But Steve, they only do that because those guys are hot musicians, and it's just the fact they're musicians that they have no money, but they're ripped and they've
maybe those guys show a little bit of frame and confidence.
No, Steve, that can't possibly be it. All you need is a little bit of muscles and a little bit of game, and she'll sleep with you. Steve, come on, man, you know this.
Oh. What? You expect me to buy into the superficial red pill bullshit?
Well, the superficial red pill bullshit expects you to buy into the superficial red pill bullshit. And the thing is yes, there is a group of women out there who will bang you just because you're in a band, but that's not a lot of women. You know, one of the things we do in the red pill is we try to, as men do, you know, reduce the problem set to, okay, there's this, and then there's this about women, and there's this about women. And a lot of it can be derived from biology, and it really is true of all of them. But where we get it twisted is that we start to think that women are going to solve their problem all the same way. Okay. Now, I can tell you what my wife thinks of the muscle-bound band boy. It's not. I'll say it this way: it is not something I can say on Facebook, or sorry, on YouTube or Facebook for that matter. I'll get banned off of both. Okay, I can't tell you what she thinks because the words involve things that will get us banned. Okay, so she doesn't see that sort of man as a particularly valuable man. Now you could say, "Oh, well, your wife's weird." Okay, I'll allow that.
Wait, hold on.
Okay.
Plutarch, your wife is weird. For some absurd reason, she actually prefers men who can outthink her, out argue her, out logic her. Somehow, her thing is a smarter man than her. She doesn't really care if he's more muscular. She's weird.
Okay. But there's lots of girls out there like that. Why? Because biologically, intelligence is if you want to go back to the biology, intelligence is a superpower in the survival game. The higher intelligence person is going to be able to think faster, come up with better solutions, and achieve what she wants. So no, it's a perfectly valid solution. And this is exactly what I'm getting at. There is more than one way for a woman to solve her, we call it her reproductive problem, but that's, but
it's
her mate
women
selection.
women desire security, right?
Yes.
So some women view muscles as security.
Yeah, and it is. It is.
Other women refer to brains and resilience and frame. This guy doesn't get rattled. Oh, shit happens. And he says, oh, yeah, okay. Doesn't get emotional about it. He says, okay, this is what we're going to do. And he always thinks through things and he has a plan and he's just smart. Oh man, I can depend on him. That's my security. So it's still a security thing.
Correct. That's what I mean when I say there's more than one way for them to solve this problem. And we have to be willing to acknowledge that. I've met plenty of women who look at the rocker dudes and go, huh? They kind of throw up a little bit in their mouth. They want nothing to do with it because they don't see those men as reliable. And frankly, those women are right. Those men are not typically reliable. I mean, rocker dudes have a long and storied history of banging roadies. Okay. So again, how women solve this problem is a varied set of solutions. Okay. But here's the thing. The rocker dude can have frame, doesn't always. I'm looking at some of the old rocker guys like U2 or Bono who slobbers all over his multiple ex-wives. Okay. Or Tom Brady as another example, slobbered over his ex-wife and lost her to a no-name martial artist. Okay. Those guys had all the other stuff. They had the money, they had the muscles, they may have even had the game. Okay. they didn't have the frame. And look, if all you're looking to do is to bang lots of chicks, you really don't need. Actually, you do need frame, but you need it in a very different way. Because you can treat frame almost in that narcissistic sense of I don't give a shit about you. I'm just here for myself. And that'll work just fine. But if you don't have that, women will come and they will go. It's actually very hard, even in the player space, to have a stable or a rotation of plates without having some sort of frame.
Well, I think I'm going to try and paraphrase something that comes from the martial arts world. Not that I'm an expert. I did a bit of Commando Krav Maga, 20 years ago. That's probably where I
Nice.
learned this. It was tough, and I stuck it out. Anyway, two types of competence. Well, I'm just going to define it in two areas: situational competence and core competence. So when you start learning martial arts, okay, you learn the moves and you know what to do. And you got to think about it. And it's in a certain area. Core competence comes when it's just internal. It's like it goes from mind to muscle memory. When something happens, you just know what to do. And it just happens without your brain thinking of it. So a lot of these, I don't know, money muscles game guys, the athletes, they are absolutely have situational competence in whatever endeavor they're doing. But do they have core competence in life? And one of you guys can build on that.
Nick's been quiet.
Well, do they have that? I would say they don't have. They might be able to get a woman, sway a woman. They can't keep a woman because deep down there's no structure. There's nothing. There's no foundation. They're built on shifting sand. Their frame. Think of frame as like the frame, like the foundation. Okay, like the core. Okay, they can adjust to, to get a woman in situations, but they themselves are liable to shift, and they cannot maintain the core of who they are. They can't keep a woman. They don't have the domineering factor, but also they can fall into the common thing of betaization by 1,000 concessions, where they become shiftless, or
Well,
they don't maintain frame. They they no longer retain that dominant masculine presence, but enter into her frame.
This poses an interesting challenge for us definitionally, I think, because yes, Nick, you're right, but if we say, oh, all you have to do to keep a woman is maintain frame, we're also kind of saying that she has no agency to leave if you do. And I think what we have to say about all four of the money muscles game and frame aspects of these things improve your odds. And frame,
there's no guarantee to keep her, but you won't keep her if you don't have frame. Chances are.
Right, exactly. And I think we need to be careful to define that, is to say, look, if you don't have frame, you are not going to keep a woman. Period. End of discussion. If you have frame, you might keep a woman. There's hope. There's a chance. of you keeping a woman. And we've said that before. I want to draw that out for this particular conversation because one of the mistakes that men make with any of the four is thinking that having that four, having those, any number of those four, prevents you from losing a woman. I want to point out that this is actually a very beta way of thinking. Betas think in terms of what do I offer the woman to give me herself, to give me her pussy. Okay. And so when you think in terms of, well, all I have to do is offer her these things, then she'll
You've already
stay.
lost frame.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Even if you think offering frame, even if you think, oh, well, I need to have frame, you know, well, that's clearly the thing I've got to have. Right. You're offering that to the woman and saying, well, that's what I have to offer you. That's a beta way of thinking.
Can I build on that?
Sure.
Thinking, oh, red pill truth. Yeah, these guys say, I need to have frame in order to keep a woman. So I'm going to go out there and develop frame so I can keep a woman. Now your goal is to do something in order to keep a woman. It's backwards. Sorry, it's backwards. You develop frame to invite a woman into your life. You can come along on my ride, my adventure. You can be here. And if you leave, okay. I'm going to keep my frame. It's your choice to stay with me or not. I'm not being this solid, grounded, moral, principled man in order to keep you. I'm just being that because that's who I choose to be. That's who I choose. That's what my essence is. Now, do you want to stay or do you want to leave? It's up to you.
Right. And here's the thing. And this is something that's is going to come up in longer term relationships. Speaking from experience, things are going to change about your mission. You're at some point in your life, you're going to realize, hey, the thing that I thought I should be doing, well, it's related to that, but it's actually over here. Or you're going to say, hey, wow, you know, I learned something here and I've come to a realization. And this thing that I said was part of my mission really can't be part of my mission anymore. Either because the thing is actually antithetical to the mission, you know, like it'd be like hypocritical to try and keep doing it, right? Or that thing is holding you back from being able to do your mission. Okay. And here's the thing about frame. If a woman is around you and she sees that you are struggling to let go of things that no longer fit within the mission set of your frame, she's going to go, well, wait a minute. Why can't this guy let go? Now, she's not thinking this consciously. This is an emotion. She is sensing the dislocation within you and going, there's something wrong with him and he can't seem to figure it out. Right. Think about all those women on TikTok. Why can't these guys just figure it out? Right. And so now sometimes the thing that you are having to set aside and say that can't be part of my mission anymore is going to be something that she thought she was going to get for participating with you. This is a tough one, guys. Okay.
Oh, this happened to me.
Oh, okay, Nick, go for it.
Okay, pastoring in the OPC. Had in her eyes finally arrived. Heck, she might have been already out the door. Who knows? I said, the NAPARC, North American Presbyterian and Reform Group. Oh man, they're a bunch of effeminate sissies. They're supporting all these women, basically being semi-pastors, but not pastors, and preaching and soft complementarianism, and I'm like, no, this is all wrong. Women should not preach. They should not be teaching in the churches or the seminaries. In fact, they should be quiet, submissive, listening to their husbands, taking care of the home. Patriarchy, hierarchy. Oh, but the church is attacking the the pastor now. That's me, right? Oh, all my friends thinks he's a bad, misogynist man. Oh, he might lose his job as the pastor of the Orthodox Presbyterian, this specific Orthodox Presbyterian church, because he's too radical. I mean, basically being too traditional, too a stickler for the truth. What do you think happened?
Well, I think we know what happened. She ditched you.
Yeah.
Right. And this goes back to the importance of frame, right? You are about your mission. Okay. The
Yep.
woman gets to choose to follow or not. Okay. But you might come at some point in doing your mission, you might come to a fork in the road where you have to choose to jettison the thing that she thought she was going to get. Okay. And if you maintain frame, you're going to jettison that thing. Okay. If you don't maintain frame in order to keep what she wants, well, then you're not maintaining frame and she's not going to love you anymore. She's not going to respect you anymore. Nick, does this sound about right?
If I caved, she wouldn't have respected me.
Uh-huh.
So let me add
If I didn't cave, which I didn't, but struggled on, she didn't respect me
Well, no, she was
because it's
more
against her ideology.
well, I think actually what it was is she was more attached to the idea of being top bitch at a church. Mary, she was the top girl.
Can I take this here?
Go for it, Steve.
Okay, so Nick's wife. Okay, first of all, who's Nick? Really smart guy. He's confident. He knows what's going on. And is he Mr. Atlas? No. But Nick is a big guy. He's solid. And women in general feel protected in his presence because he's not soft. Okay, so he's got that going for him. So Nick is not about money. He went into being a pastor. He wasn't going to make a lot of money because that wasn't his motivation. And he got married. His wife married him knowing that. So what was her fantasy? Oh, I'm going to be the pastor's wife. And I get to bask in his glory and the esteem of being the pastor's wife. And kind of, that's going to be my status. So Nick starts rocking the boat in the church. And the ladies don't like it. So now his ex-wife didn't get to bask in the glory of being the pastor's wife. It didn't work well. So, okay, Nick still had the game. Still kind of had the muscles enough for her. I mean, just being the big guy, strong guy that he is. He never had the money, but she wasn't about the money. Wasn't about the money. It was about the status and all that. And Nick stuck to his guns. Okay. There were, he was blown about and buffeted by the wind and some difficult times that men go through. Mostly the buffeting came from his ex-wife. But yeah, it didn't last. Go ahead, Nick.
But he came from the ex-wife. Aptly put.
Nick.
I swear, like a part of me always thinks that she actually probably would have respected me more if I actually get it back, but I'm not that type of person. So, yeah.
Probably true, but we're not going there.
Right.
So, Chief, you have a comment here. I want to address it because it's a good one. Um, he said, "Thanks for going over this. Trying to work through how I held frame and still got rug pulled. Holding frame is not going to stop you from getting rug pulled. Holding frame only means that when you get rug pulled, you don't collapse into a puddle of goo. Okay? It means you have a plan, or if you don't have a plan, you just start doing things. You start working the problem. You start figuring out what you're going to do. That's what frame is. Frame doesn't try to hold on to everything and say, I have it all figured out. This happened, and all of that. No, it's not that. It's just when something happens, you're going to survive it. That's all it is.
Well, yeah. Okay, you're an oak tree. And the
And
tornado
sometimes-
comes through. And it rips every limb off, cracks all, just devastates. You
Survive.
look pretty sorry. But you know what? The trunk is still standing. You're still rooted. Yeah, it's going to be a tough year because you know what? Got no acorns coming off. You got no leaves. It's going to be ugly. But as long as you don't move, you're going to survive. It might take you 2-3 years. It might take you 10 years to grow back, but you didn't move. The men who self-delete lack the roots and that core just belief that, okay, that sucked. I'm still going to make it through.
Steve, I want to say something to that specifically. We are not saying that these are bad men who are weak and
No, I am not saying that.
right. Because frame is always taught. It is a learned skill. And all of these men, in fact, most men alive today were never taught how to do it.
Terrence Popp at Redonkulous Regiment. He teaches that. He has saved 600 lives. How does he do it? He just talks about it. And he comedy. He points out that, yep, this happened. Oh shit, this happened. Can you believe the crazy thing that this woman over here did? Oh yeah, I went through hell. Yeah, it sucked. I'm still here. And then you'll laugh at it. Just like men in combat. Dude, I was like, okay, it sucked because a mortar round landed 6 foot away and my buddy just shit his pants. And I was close to shitting my pants. But a year later, I'm telling the story and I'm laughing at it. Okay, that's how men deal with stuff. Comedy is really important. And that's how it teaches men to just bend and go with it. No, I don't need to be uprooted here. Yeah, it sucks. I'm going to survive. That's just deep level frame. And guys who learn that will go through the toughest things and come out the other side. Now, this is emotional. Oh, let's call this emotional labor. And that's a female term. Men
Dare
who've gone
you.
through combat and war and done the harder things that I've ever done. They fall prey and self-delete over some emotional tragedy because a woman left them and devastated them. Okay, a woman left,
Yes.
2 women left me, financially devastated me. Yeah, it was
Was it
pretty
the
bad.
financial Steve, was it the financial devastation or was it really the kids?
It was the kids,
There you go.
and it was destroying everything that I'd built and planned for the future, and then making me a slave and making me still pay for her, even though I couldn't see my kids. And you've just devastated my finances, and you tried to throw my ass in jail, and you try and destroy my career.
Well,
Man, could you identify with any of that, Nick?
well, let's just say I'm not practicing as a pastor right now, not in an official capacity in a church. I've gone independent. I told Nate Park and the OPC to go basically kick rocks. You know, oh, I was just such an angry man because I was so upset about their abominations and upset about the abomination that happened to me. Oh, I'm such a bad person. And oh yeah, now I can probably never, in those churches, they'll look at me, say divorced. Yeah, pastoring in those contexts, probably not going to happen again. Got destroyed, kids taken away from me, thrown in jail multiple times. You know, false accusations, alienation from children. Oh, and you have to take jobs. So like, oh, the time I could go see my kids. Well, I'm sorry. If I don't make these payments, I'll end up in jail. So I have to take these jobs out of state. I
See,
mean,
Nick is still going through this. But at some point, he's gonna say, he's just gonna start laughing
I'm surviving, guys.
because you
I'm
threw
still,
your best at me and I survived. And
I'm still
actually,
here.
I'm doing better now. Oh, damn, woman. You couldn't take me down. And you just laugh because you have to laugh at life and the hardships. It's what keeps you sane eventually.
Well, gentlemen, I think we can wrap this up. We just got an object lesson, what frame looks like. There you go, guys. You don't need any more. We're done. Okay. No. I'm mostly joking, but that is true. That's what frame looks like. Frame isn't something that you don't recognize it for what it is, and you barely know it's there during the good times. But in the bad times, it is the difference between life and death, and I mean that literally. Nick's got frame. We're not worried about him temporally removing himself. Okay. Now, this poses a problem for people who came at him in the future because he's still here. There are people who, and this is a sickening aspect of this, there are people who secretly hope that people like Pastor Nick do self-delete over what was done to them, because then they no longer have to listen to him say those horrible things that he says. I have no doubt that while the church he was pastoring did not want to see him dead, they kicked him out.
They were I think, quite glad to do it.
Yeah,
Even though
exactly.
They
They were quite glad to not have to listen to you anymore. Right? So, okay, that's what frame is. And so, but what did Nick do? Well, he's got a plan. We don't have to detail the plan on here, but part of his plan was do not stop fighting for the truth. Do not give up on talking to other people and helping them through. You know, I don't want to speak for you, Nick, but it appears to
There were
me.
times where I almost wanted to give up,
No,
and I was
I hear
questioning
you.
my faith, and I came out the other side. And people say a Christian could never do that. It's like, yeah, you've never been there. You've never read the Book of Job, and I'm no Job guy. It's like,
Well, oh,
I want to
right.
correct this. Nick didn't have a plan. I didn't have a plan.
Okay.
You just say, okay, all I can do today is put one foot in front of the other. I understand why these guys self delete. I'm just not going to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you say, you know what? I'm not going to do that today. Great. I'm just going to plod along and I'm going to stick to my principles. I don't have a plan. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I will persevere and I will move forward.
Well, Steve.
That's all it takes. And you know what? If you keep doing that, eventually you'll have a plan and you'll have some place to go.
Having been through a couple traumatic experiences in my life, some days the most complicated plan you can come up with is to say, I'm not going today. Sometimes that's all you've got the mental energy to plan. I ain't going today. And
that's great.
That is
you're making progress here. This
exactly.
is a good thing.
Well, and this goes back to where we started with Nick's story. Nick, I don't know if your intention was to be involved with the red pill when you started with the church and speaking out against
Nope.
the right, but it is now.
No, it is now. Because I remember, like the day after I got zeroed out, the book, The Unplugged Alpha, came in the mail. And I read it. I'm like, holy crap. I just went through like so much of what this guy just said.
Well, okay. Nick, has your mission changed as a result of this event?
It's sharpened. I mean, I'm still about patriarchy and hierarchy, and
Okay.
I'm still about, all of God's truth. But yeah, it's probably more pointed in the intersexual dynamics, patriarchy, red pill perspective.
And this is how it happens,
right now.
guys. Go ahead, Steve.
Did your attitude change saying, holy shit, I'm not alone?
Yes.
This is common. I'm just, damn, so many other men have gone through this. Okay, I can get through it too. And now let me help other men to propagate the message, because just knowing that other men have gone through this was such a benefit to me. I need to propagate that.
Yeah. I'm still here. And it gave me a community of men that was there and had answers for me when I'm sorry, most of the church did not, and was just saying, oh, you must be such a bad sinner, and oh, you just weren't loving and serving your wife enough, and oh, this is what happens when you argue for the patriarch. Yeah, this is
So this is what I was talking about earlier. There will be moments in your life where your mission changes, is refined, requires you to set aside certain things that maybe you thought were going to be part of your mission, but turned out they weren't. That's okay. But the point that I want to make here is that sometimes, and Nick, your story is a powerful example of this, the changes in that mission will drive the woman away. And at that point, you're going to learn what she was actually there for. She wasn't really there about your mission. She was there because your mission included something that she wanted. To which you have to say, and really the only thing you can say if you're going to maintain frame is, well, then we are no longer suited for each other. That's a hard thing to tell Christians because, Christians, we don't believe in divorce as a general tool, but
Kind of made that easy on me, though. Well,
well,
not really easy.
yeah.
Let's put it that
Well,
way.
yes, right. Not easy.
Made the situation clear, even though the church didn't like the fact that I filed. I'm like, well, what do you want me to do? I haven't been able to see my kids. She didn't drop the charges, and she's not listening. She won't listen to anything about church discipline, and the church refuses to discipline her, and now I'm the bad guy. Like, okay,
Right.
well,
Exactly. So
I'm not welcome, and she doesn't want to be with me. So okay.
So one of the things you have, frame is also it's because of this aspect of it, it's a very brutal thing, and it's going to force you as a Christian at some point to confront the idea that maybe your wife isn't for this mission. Okay, and I think, because I've been reflecting a lot on this in preparation for the debate that we still don't know if we're going to be able to do or not. But the Apostle Paul, when he talks about why he would rather men stay single, I think this is actually a large part of it. Because when you get married and have children, you can, it's very difficult now to put the mission, or Paul, the work of Christ ahead of that, even though we are called to do so. Now, in theory, the women should have been raised that their job is to follow the man in that calling and mission.
Pearl made that clear. That's not really what's going on.
Yes, I completely agree that's what should be happening. It's not happening, and then we're wondering why all these divorces are happening in the church. Well, I mean, there's a lot of reasons why, but Nick's stories clearly shows that there's a percentage of them that's what's going on. So at some point, we as men have to decide if the marriage is more important or if the mission is more important. And I'm going to say this, Nick may disagree with me, but I believe that the Bible says that the mission of God is more important than the marriage.
She wants to depart, let her.
Right. And I think this is what the Apostle Paul was really trying to say is that the work of God is more important than you being married.
Well, okay, let me support that. Nick, I know the verse, but I don't know, I can't cite where it comes from. Man is the glory of God, woman is the glory of man. Which is why women wear head coverings, men worship God with their head uncovered. Where's that come from, Nick? It's New Testament.
1 Corinthians 11.
Okay, so yeah, I'm a Catholic. I don't know where it comes from. I just know shit.
Come on, Steve.
Hey, Nick, I struggle citing chapter and verse too. It's never been my strong suit.
So here's another aspect. I'm gonna guide the conversation. Is frame developed in the calm times or in the blustery times? That oak tree, if it's in sandy soil, it's just hardly any strong winds, it's all sunny days, doesn't need much roots to stay there. But then the wind comes along and pushes the damn thing over. That oak tree that has seen a few storms and been through some bad times, pretty firmly rooted. Guys, frame is no guarantee against bad times. In fact, your frame should grow as the challenges are big. And if you get through a big challenge, you should have greater frame than you did before that challenge. And you cannot grow it without challenges and suffering.
It's funny you bring that up, Steve, because Elena yesterday would be screaming at you, angry because you're right. And yes, my frame as I have gotten older and gone through some shit has gotten stronger. And Elena will tell you that. And it drives her batty. Like it drives her insane. Yesterday was not a good day for her emotionally. I don't need to get into what it was all about, and yet at the end of the day, what does she come up and ask me? She comes up and asks me this. She's put me through hell all day. Okay. Do you still love me? She doesn't even say, I still love you. She says, do you still love me? Because she knows that she put me through hell. I didn't bend on the frame. Okay. I said, nope, this is the mission. This is what we're trying to do. This is, and so, but at the end of the day,
Hurts.
well, that's a woman who's afraid of losing a guy. Okay. And it's a guy who has maintained his frame through his wife's emotional storm.
Hey, this brings to mind the text I sent her in our group chat today. Because she was referencing something that was said about her. Elena, you are so mean! Exclamation point. I wonder why I still like you. So, what was her response? Thank you, Steve. I feel so much better now.
Women.
Okay. So, what did I say there? As a friend, kind of a father figure, I said the same damn thing. She wanted some assurance. I said, yeah, you are who you are. In a teasing way. Yep, I still like you. Oh, she was so relieved. That's just women, okay?
Yeah, it is. And, okay, Steve, yes, I had to spend all day cutting her down so that you could make her feel better.
Well, sometimes it takes a village.
Sometimes it takes a village to restrain a woman. Oh, dear God, tell me about it. Yeah, no, guys, women these days, it takes a village. You're going to need more than one guy on the job at some point.
We don't necessarily we don't coordinate on this. We don't.
No, we don't. And she knows that. There's a reason why, after me working on her all day, goes and complains to the group chat. She's hoping one of you will, because she's a woman and that's what they do.
But we do it in a measured way. We don't gush. We don't take her side against you. No,
you
I'm
don't.
usually sleeping. I'm usually sleeping.
That's fine, Nick. You're fine. Yeah, well, and to the flip side of this is many times these guys have taken my side in these conversations, and then she gets all huffy at the group chat. It's a very sad day.
After the show.
Oh yeah, yes. After the show, she'll pop in and she'll get huffy at everyone. Well, why you remember,
And Plutarch says, no, time to mute her again.
Yeah. I
but you know what? If we didn't act this way, she wouldn't really like and appreciate us. Because we stand our ground with her. Oh. Okay, here's an example. And I've talked to Nick about this and not included Plutarch, but he'll understand. So we go through a stream and I guess a couple of these on Saturdays, it was just Nick and I. And She says, well, I think this is the way men think. And Nick and I will patiently go through, no, it's really like this.
Mm-hmm.
It's different. And then about an hour later, after the stream is over, she'll come back on with some other example of why she's right. And no, it really is this way. No, it's not. I never give in to it because
I will
she's
hear
still
about this a
trying
couple
to
hours
tell
later.
me how it's different. No, it's not different. I know how men think, okay? And I don't back down. If I did back down, it would probably be the end of a friendship with Elena, and she'd lose respect for me. Even though it's not it wouldn't be a conscious thing. It would just be an emotional thing.
Because you lost frame and demonstrated that you were not masculine enough, Steve. And so therefore she would actually lose respect for you.
Yes.
So
Okay,
so
you are
so when
you
girls try
are
to beat down a guy so he loses frame, right? And the guy thinks he wins. We've all done this, guys. Don't
Yes,
we've all done it.
yes,
Yes.
She
but
actually loses respect for you.
you are rationally explaining this. That level of thought doesn't exist in a female's mind.
Correct.
Oh well. Oh well.
She cannot explain why she's doing what she's doing. She's just going to do it because of her emotions. She can't explain why. And so at a certain level, you explaining why it happens serves no purpose because it just happens.
Well, there's another.
You know what I mean? From a male standpoint, yes, makes sense. From a female, but teaching men to understand women is really difficult.
So there's another corollary here. This is not to say that I never back down to her. Okay. Sometimes she is objectively right. And she has this story, you guys have heard it, about the one time where I just completely whiffed on a schedule. I had the wrong, my clock was screwed up or something, and I had the wrong schedule. And here's the thing, though. Here's what she did do. I didn't back down. I didn't check myself before I wrecked myself, right? She just accepted it. She said, well, I guess we're just not going then. We were going to be an hour late. I was off by an hour. Okay. And but to this day, she never forgets that story. But here's the thing. She was right. And so when the person is objectively right and they know that they're objectively right, if you don't back down, it's going to come across as sort of a fake gaslighting kind of move. And that will also give women the ick. Okay. So there is a little bit of balance you have to have here to say, oh shit, I screwed that up. Okay. Now, this doesn't mean you have to go groveling to her. I do not grovel to Elena ever. Okay. But on the occasion that I have actually made a mistake, I will admit that mistake to her. I will admit that was a mistake. Why? Because coming across as a gaslighting narcissistic tool is also going to convince her that I am not a respectable man. Respectable men don't behave like that.
Sorry. Let me reframe that. That's not why you do it. It's because it's part of your core being that when you're wrong, you're going to admit to it and take responsibility. It has nothing to do with how she perceives you. No, this is who I am. Most of the time, I'm going to be right. When I'm wrong, I'm going to admit it. And if it's bad enough, I'm going to have to come up with a recovery plan and take responsibility because that's who I am. That's frame.
Well, right. That's what I'm trying to get at is when you admit you're wrong and you come up with a plan and you fix it, you're not giving over your frame to somebody else. In fact, trying to gaslight them is giving them your frame over to them, because what you're signaling is, I am so worried about how you perceive me that I have to gaslight you into thinking that I wasn't really wrong. When you can just come up and say, you're right, I screwed up. Here's the plan, or not, as the case may be. You're not giving them any frame. You're not giving up your frame to do that. It's when you try to gaslight them, because the women understand implicitly that gaslighting is an admission that you value their opinion of you more than you value your center, your mission, anything about yourself. And in fact, this is what makes narcissists so. It's why everyone loves them, because the narcissist will always tell you whatever you think or whatever they think will make you like them. But the reason that narcissists always fail universally at everything is because that involves lying to everyone and using different lies. And eventually they can't keep them straight. And eventually the women figure it out and realize that they're being lied to.
And it's tiresome. It's so tiresome to trying to keep up with everything.
Yeah.
At an early age, my dad told me you're a terrible liar, son. Like, all right. Well, I couldn't keep my shit straight even as a kid, so
Nick, that is a
honesty is the best policy.
That is a perfectly fine personality trait to have in my estimation. But we are actually touching on an aspect of frame that I don't know that anybody has ever touched on before, so this is kind of fun. But here's the thing. I'm actually going to state this on air. It is not possible for somebody in the cluster B to have frame, because the entire diagnosis requires that they give their frame to whoever can give them the most adoration in return. Okay? So what I am saying here today, the narcissists, the ones that make up an unfortunate percentage of the YouTubiverse, have no frame. Now, why do I say this? Because if somebody has no frame, how do you expect them to teach you how to have frame? How do you expect them to demonstrate it? They can't. Go ahead, Steve.
Oh, I have a question for you. Does President Trump have frame?
Oh boy. Oh, that's a tough one, because he looks like he does sometimes, and then he'll say something and you go, what the hell? The problem is that any examples I could pick to say yes or no immediately become a political judgment of the man.
Okay. Let's talk in generic terms. Is he consistent in his stance?
Well, okay, but here again, I have to say that there's two possible answers, because one thing he has been consistently consistent in is his inconsistency on his stance. Now, people have pointed out that as a negotiator, you have to be willing to change your stance. So, and he values negotiation. So the idea that he, that he would change his stance on a dime doesn't bother. I don't know if that's dispositive to whether or not he has frame. However, Steve, what I think you're getting at is there's a lack of moral cohesion to what Trump does. Okay. This is,
yeah, okay. Does he stick to his principles?
depends on which principles we're talking about.
Does he convey that he's a man that can be trusted? Does he convey that attitude to his opponents?
No, but again, I don't know if that's an affect because the problem here is you're dealing with an actor, and I view Trump as an actor. He is not a normie. And so the problem is I don't think we can come up with something for him because he's just play acting a role, and he play acts however he needs to play act for that in that moment.
That's a sufficient answer. Okay, so as a man, to each individual man, I'm not the president. I don't want to be the president. I don't want to be in that situation. But do I want to be perceived in this questionable way like Donald Trump? However people perceive him, I don't perceive him as a man that I know where he stands and he's going to be there all the time as a as a bulwark, as an oak tree. I don't perceive him that way. Now he may have his agenda, okay, and it might be for the greater good. Okay, maybe. But do I want to act the way he does? No, I don't. It's not the kind of frame that causes a woman to stay with you. Let me just say it that way.
Well, he's on his third wife, so I think the evidence there speaks for itself.
Yeah, but his wife might be staying with him for the status and the money at this point.
Yeah, but no, my point is he's had 3. Frame is probably not a strong suit. Just if you're going by that metric. Yeah, Chief, that's actually a really good quote. They all seem like game show hosts to me. Well, he literally was a game show host, so yeah. Trump, to me, I treat him as an actor. I don't believe much of anything, and I don't try to read anything into what he does. I don't think there's any value in it. I think it's all for show. But what that does mean is you don't know what you're going to get tomorrow. So, okay. Anyway, But
okay, this has been a good discussion. We haven't taken a stance on political issues, but we've brought what we see in real life into this conversation because it pertains. We'll leave it up to our audience to make their own determinations.
Well, one of the things I want to stress here is as you attempt to make your own determinations of this, it is going to be highly, highly seductive to try and make a determination on the basis of your political feelings. And I am using the term feelings intentionally. Okay. You feel a certain way about certain aspects of politics, and so you are going to try to answer. Your brain is going to want to answer that question in a way that makes you feel good about your feelings. So it's very hard to do, and that's why you guys saw me or listened to me waffling around and trying to say, well, is it this? Is it can I really say that? Because that's the actual answer. So anyway,
that's the answer I expected too.
Oh, good. I'm glad I did not disappoint. So, honestly, guys, okay. Here's the deal. For tonight, I had an idea, but I spent so much time of my limited free time doing prep work for a debate that we're now not sure is going to happen because our counterparty refuses to give us a date. So I didn't really have like a lot prepared for this. I had an idea and I had some directions I wanted to go. We can just call it here. We've been at it an hour and a half. I think we've covered a lot of useful ground on Frame. Is there anything else you guys want to bring up about Frame?
No, I think we did it because, and this was great because you come up with the term frame. We're going to talk about frame. Great. It's important. So then we need to define what it is and talk around it, figure out some instances where men have it, men don't. It's not all that well defined. It's kind of like asking the Supreme Court, what's pornography? Can't really define it, but I know it when I see it.
And
Yeah,
go ahead, Nick.
one of the books that kind of, it's not a perfect book. It kind of has it's a bit of a selfish psychological bent to it, but viewed with we're Christian guys, viewed with the Christian lens for your typical average frustrated chump that's done the betazation by 1,000 concessions. He's become the so-called nice guy, but he's not always such a nice guy, come to find out, because he's the drunken captain basically whenever stuff kind of irritates him and creates some instability in his relationships. There's a book called No More Mr. Nice Guy by Robert Glover. Talks about, hey, what do you want? Asserting yourself, making clear your desires, setting boundaries, and not letting people step over them. That's a good book for guys that find themselves in this as a frustrated chump, realizing where did their balls go, and that's a good start.
All right. Well, I think we're done.
Yeah, let me paraphrase what Nick said. Nice guys lack frame.
Yes.
That's very that's actually very true. Well, it's actually going to be weird to wrap this one up so quick. Next week, we have no idea what the plan is. We haven't discussed it at all. We will probably discuss it after the stream tonight. In part because we're getting we're getting stonewalled on a date for this debate that we want to do. The guy said he wants to do it, but has been highly evasive as to when we might be able to do such a thing. So we
So,
keep.
we have.
I do
a
want to say
hand-
something, Steve, before you.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's what I will say: the longer he gives us to prepare, that's a risk. That's a risk, my brother. You're giving the three of us weeks to prepare our arguments and hone them. That's a choice. Anyway, Steve, go ahead.
We have a handful of really great audience that show up every week. Now, you guys give good comments. You are thinking men. Give us a topic that you want us to explore. Come on, I'm challenging you, and I'm also inviting you to come on. You don't have to show your face. You can come on and just engage with us. It would be great fun. I would welcome that.
All right. We also have Chief. Okay, Chief. Chief says just ask him to remove his hat Tim Pool style. So we also have no idea what is going to be on Elena's stream next week. I guarantee you she will bring that up after the stream tonight. So we will know what's next week. If we hear back about a date for the debate, we will let you guys know. If regardless of who you think wins the debate, it'll be a good one. I've heard some of Nick's arguments, and you guys are going to get something out of it. So with that, guys, I guarantee you there's a man in your life who needs to hear something about Frame. And I'm actually glad we were able to keep this video shorter because it makes that message to this man that you know easier and more accessible for them. So please share this video. That is the first and foremost thing that we ask of you to do, even before subscriptions and likes and all that. I mean, you can do those things, but the thing we want you to do is to share the video. So, actually, I don't know, Nick, what do you think? Or sorry, Nick, Steve, what do you think of that idea?
I have to watch the movie.
Well,
it's probably a good idea. I mean,
yeah. We haven't done it before, Chief. So it would be an interesting different sort of show than we usually do. That's actually an interesting idea. Well, we will discuss after the show.
I did one with the queen bees, and that was rather tiresome. But that was chick flick.
Well, chick flick. There you go. Okay, so
we can do it. We don't have to succeed. It can suck, and we can still do it.
Yeah, we can suck at it. We also don't have to do the whole movie, guys. Like like copyright is a problem. We can take clips and analyze the clips. So yeah, with that, we will see you either on Saturday or next Wednesday. Bye.
Bye.
There was a firefight! Son of a bitch!